feel unsure? Are you doubtful of how next year is going to look like for you? Do you wish something good would happen, but so far all the news you've heard are pretty much bad news? This year, the year of 2020, was pretty unique, right? If you live in the United States, we've just had our presidential election where over $10 billion was spent on the campaign. And the fanfare it created was pretty epic, in a bad way, my opinion. And then there was this racial uprising that stormed across the country and caused riots and all sorts of dismay. And then, of course, there was this virus that took over the whole world. Companies that had survived through World War and the Depression, even those could not survive the economic impact of the virus. You may be hoping for a vaccine, hoping for the whole world to equalize, but you know that it isn't going to happen. So for you to feel certain about the future, the only thing you can rely on is yourself. You can only control your own future. The only person you can rely on is you. So there are 3 keys to finding certainty in uncertain times. Number 1 is to get centered. Now, as a daily practice, find a few minutes, maybe even just 3 minutes every morning and night, just to be alone, sit up tall, close your eyes, and take deep breaths. You may not want to do a full-blown meditation or chant. You can if you prefer, but you don't have to. All you need to do is count your breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count as you breathe in through your nose, then breathe out through your mouth. Feel your body. Anybody can find a few minutes here and there. If you can't, you have a bigger problem. So go lock yourself in the bathroom if you need to. Just by doing some deep breathing, it gets oxygen into your brain and your body. It clears your mind, wipes up the noise, and resets you. Now, number 2, fill yourself with gratitude. One of the drawbacks of living in the modern world is that we take things for granted. For example, the running toilet is the single most important factor in extending humans' lifespan. Before there's a working toilet and a sewage system, people barely lived past the 30s and 40s. What about the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, food on the table, the people around us? We're so focused on what we don't have that we forgot to count our blessings. And since this episode coincides with the American Thanksgiving holiday, let's just give yourself a high five, a pat in the back, and be grateful about everything we got. I know that 2020 seemed like the worst year of your life, but to me, it is the best year of my life. Talk about manifesting everything that I wanted for many, many years. For me, I am thankful that we have been working on strengthening our immune system for the past 8 years, and it paid off big time. We never had the flu in years, and even when we get the sniffles and the coughs, they don't last. They last about a half a day and poof, sniffles be gone. I'm also thankful for how we managed to strengthen our financial mindset. We've had a tough few years, but it trained us to be financially savvy and put us onto a path to financial freedom. We're still working on it, but we can see the destination we're heading towards it. What about people? Surely you've missed your friends and family, right? Well, here's actually where I'm most thankful. To me, Andy and my 4 cats are the most precious things in my life. And I get to spend a lot of quality time with them this year. So, yay! Do I miss the rest of my family? Of course, yes, especially my parents. But technology has helped us tremendously. If you remember a time before there was the internet, if you want to reach out to someone who doesn't live close by, the only option is to call them long distance. And they charge you by the minute. Now, We have FaceTime, Zoom, and all sorts of other ways to actually see and talk to each other even when we cannot physically be together. And that is a blessing. And even after Thanksgiving, I would suggest that you keep on with your gratitude practice. You can choose how you want to do it. Some people like to keep a gratitude journal and they write in the journal every day before bedtime. For me, I combine my gratitude practice with my meditation. So when I meditate, I'm also saying thank you to everything that I'm grateful for that day. The benefit of developing an attitude for gratitude is that rather than focusing on what you don't have, which puts you pretty much into a shittier mood, you focus on what you have, and that makes you happy, joyful, and fulfilled. So figure out how you want to do your gratitude and give it a try, at least for a week, and see how you feel about it. Number 3, this is a tough one. I'm asking you to stop watching the news. Just turn it off, either on TV or from social media. Actually, it's not hard at all. Years ago, we decided to stop watching the TV and we never looked back. Sounds crazy? Let's talk about that. In the United States, we've just had our presidential elections a few weeks ago. I know people who were glued to the TV for a solid week, watching whatever channel is showing the results of the count, state by state, county by county, whatever. They spent 16 hours a day for 7 days, and then finally, after agonizing for 112 hours, they know who our next president is going to be. For us, it took us a solid 2 seconds to know the same results. 112 hours or 2 seconds. And they call me crazy. The election spent a whopping $10 billion on a campaign. Most of it is on the media, sucking people in to watch them. Are you one of those suckers? What about the other news? There is so much injustice out there, right? You've got to know that, don't you? Yes, I do know that. I just don't spend a lot of time agonizing over it. Look, if you're an activist and fighting injustice is in your life goal, awesome, go for it. But that's not my life purpose. I'm here to show people that there's a better way to navigate through life. And here's what social media is programmed to do. When you look at a specific piece of news, they know, and they feed you with more of the same content. And you read those, and they feed you more. So the more you focus on negative news, that becomes the only thing you will see. You don't see all the good that's happening out there. You don't see new research, new development that's helping people. You don't see people helping people, regardless of their color, age, and gender. Social media is great to keep up with friends, but it has also made us become myopic in your perspective. The best thing to do, stay off the news and the social media if you can. I know it's hard. I look at my social media about 2 times a day and I spend about 5 to 10 minutes each time. So that, to me, is acceptable. It is up to you what you want to do and how you want to spend your time. But I challenge you to cut the social media time by half. How's that? Can you do it? Now to recap. The 3 things to feel certain in these uncertain times is to stay centered, be grateful, and turn off the news. If you want to find creativity in chaos, you need certainty. Follow these 3 keys and let me know how they work out for you in the comments below. Until next time, love what you live and live what you love.